Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Cherico, and I'm here with Clay Pasco. And welcome to our third episode of Up All Night, your favorite UCF late night show or something like that. Hopefully, you haven't lost interest already. How's it going, Clay?
I'm doing amazing, man. How about you?
I'm doing all right, doing all right, doing all right. I had a nice week, nice weekend in Austin last week. Went out, got to do some speaking at a conference for people with my disability. Otherwise, it was a great time, and I'm happy to be back to film episode 3.
Hey, we're glad to have you back, man. But so let's go and get right into it. This one, I'd let you go ahead and start off for this one, Andrew.
Yeah, so we have some news that developed throughout the week. UCF baseball transfer Duke. He's an outfielder. Chase Cruzen has transferred to UCF, I should say, and he is a big time pickup for Rich Wallace. We all know that there's a couple seniors leaving the team this year, and outfield is one of the positions that is having the most departures. So this is a really solid pickup and one of the better transfers that I think UCF has gotten in the past few years for baseball. It just goes to show you what Rich Wallace is building at this program with this program, and I look forward to see the team that he has for next year. I feel like they can do something even more special than they did this year.
Absolutely, I agree. I think Rich is really taking this program in a much grander direction. You know, with in getting it, they're saying he could be a day one pick in the 2026 MLB draft, which is crazy that we have that and can get that now with being in the Big 12 and having Rich as a coach.
Oh yeah, and you can tell he loves the program. He used to play for it, and he's investing everything into this to make this his career, his life, and he wants to see it go far. So big ups to Rich Wallace. He's been doing a great job.
Yeah. And in
And
other news, UCF football tweeted out today that the UCF versus Florida game happening October 5th in Gainesville is going to be 6 to 8 p.m. So we are guaranteed a primetime night game in the swamp under the lights. Won't back down. Tom Petty, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be a great atmosphere. How do we feel about this?
correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this the third primetime game announced for UCF?
Technically, fifth primetime game if we're counting the
Fifth? Oh
first two
my
games.
god!
New Hampshire, Sam Houston State, TCU, Florida now, and Utah are all happening primetime at night.
And what is this? You think this has a chance at College Game Day?
The only way I see College Game
Yeah.
Day is if, well, first I don't know what other games are that day, and two, if we're both undefeated, I'll give it a shot. I'd put money on it, maybe. You never know.
I think there's a good chance that both of these teams could be undefeated by the time that comes.
Because
Colorado
Florida
will
has,
insanely tough.
yeah, Florida has Miami to begin the season, and then Samford, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State before they get to UCF. And then UCF, we have, of course, New Hampshire, Sam Houston State, TCU, and Colorado to get through. And if
So
there's a chance that this Florida team is a lot better than what everyone is predicting them to be, and they end up being 4-0 going into that game.
hey, there's a good chance. As long as there's a
Good
chance
chance.
it can happen. That would be really exciting. It would be really great for the program if that happened. So I'll look forward to seeing if that can happen. But
Yeah, I'm a
all right. You
Florida hater.
go
So
ahead.
like on one hand, like I want them to be like winless going into that game, but on the other hand, like prime time college game day, that would be awesome. So hand in hand.
And
But
it's a battle. It's almost like a win loss, but petty versus not petty. But
yeah.
all right, moving into our I guess our favorite segment of the show.
Oh, it's
Is
my
this our
favorite
most is
segment for
this our
sure.
most known? Welcome back to the Hot Wheel.
All right.
uh, your favorite wheel that we spin in the UCF community that has hot topics, hot takes going around. And these are not time related as well. These can be just overall opinions and facts for years to come. These could be timeless. So I guess go ahead and get it spinning, Clay.
Absolutely.
All right, all right, all right. And we got.
All right.
Okay.
UCF football's weakest position. What do you think
All
it
right.
is, Andrew?
I'll go ahead and start this one off. From what I've seen in the spring game, what we saw last season, I'm a little worried about this offensive line. I feel like that's the general consensus for this team. I feel like this offensive line is still weak in positions, but hopefully as the season is coming along, they'll be able to put it together and be able to create a strong connecting unit. I saw that in the spring game, KJ Jefferson got sacked a bunch of times. And I know it's practice football, it's a scrimmage, it's a glorified scrimmage, whatever you want to call it. But that's still not things you want to see in a practice. You want to see the offense moving well. You want to see the offensive line protecting the quarterback. If something happens to KJ, I'm sorry. I don't care whatever transfer we got, whatever recruits we have coming up, the season's over. It's simple as that. We're putting all our marbles into him this season. And if he goes down, that's an issue. So this offensive line needs to get it together because I don't think there's any more additions, or maybe it might be a few, but the time is coming to a close near. So they just got to start putting it together better.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on your entire point. It's really not only offensive line, but right tackle, I think, is our biggest concern right now. With there's a lot of options. What Coach Herb Hand, right, coaches offensive line, and they seem to have a lot of faith in him and being able to coach that. And just, really right tackle. I think center is going to be fine, both guards and left tackle. And I believe spring game where I think they were starting, was Marcellus Marshall at right tackle, I think.
I'm blanking right now. I'm blanking.
Or was it Paul Rubelt? Paul Rubelt wasn't at right tackle, was he?
No, I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Left, but
it was a while ago. The whole roster just continues to change over and over again.
Yeah, but I think right tackle is my biggest concern, or just with the offensive line. But even that, like go ahead. No, I'm concerned, but not like that concerned. Like I'm not like sweating over it. I think it'll probably be fine. I think they'll have it figured out by the TCU game.
Yeah, and honestly, it's more pass protection than anything, run protection. I'm fine with it. You saw RJ Harvey last season. Although he was tremendous, some of those holes weren't created by himself. And I'm really impressed with how they reconstructed the D-back group. And I'm waiting to see the linebacker. Linebacker was my second pick before this, but we'll see how linebacker goes. We know we were the worst at rushing defense last year, so it's questionable, but we'll see how it goes. What do we got? I've been waiting for this one for such a long time.
Really?
We had this on the first Hot Wheels spin, and we didn't get selected. But I'm so excited to talk about this. NCAA 25 or Madden 25. As all of you know, NCAA has gotten so much hype as of recent. It is the newest thing. There hasn't been a game released since NCAA 14. So many fan favorite game modes, such as the mascot showdown, or the forgot the college player franchise is blanking right now. It's so bad I forget that. I haven't played since NCAA 13, so give me a break. But that was I think RG3 on the cover.
Yeah.
Love RG3.
Road to Glory is what you're thinking.
Road to the Glory. Yep, Road to Glory. Yep. Because I'm thinking of Madden franchise, which is terrible in comparison. So I think I just gave away my answer. It'll absolutely be NCAA. Madden. I've been playing Madden since Madden 14, which is also called Madden 25, I believe.
Yeah. And
it was decent a couple years. And then after, I believe, Madden 19, Madden 20, my love for the game just started to go away. I mean, I still bought the game every year and probably will still buy it this year. But if I only had $60 or $70, whatever games cost now, that money's going towards NCAA. Madden just has continued to disappoint me. It's the same game every year. And I know NCAA, they're saying reskin, this and that. From what I saw in the trailer, it's not a reskin. All the fan environment, the crowds, you can do dynasties. It'll be a fantastic time. That's where my money's going.
I agree. Yeah, NCAA 25. I'm worried when NCAA 25. I got the deluxe edition, the $100 deluxe edition, because I want the 4-day early access. Just because I want to play it now, and I'm worried that I won't see light for a few days when that game comes out. I'm gonna be just grinding it. I'm gonna take Kennesaw State to the SEC and be a 6-time national champion. I'm so excited. I don't even care if it is a Madden reskin. I want to be able to play as colleges. I mean, like you said, from the gameplay, I don't think it's a Madden reskin. It doesn't look like that. There's new features and whatnot. But yeah, NCAA 25 by far. I am foaming at the mouth for this game.
What is it going to be like? Melting away in your chair?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm probably going to smell really bad, and I'm going to be melting in my chair, and
people are going to touch grass.
Yeah, haven't seen light in 6 days. You can just see the dark circles. Yeah, just
Parents
it's gonna
slipping
be.
food underneath your doorway, so you'd have to leave the
And
room.
I won't even care because I'm so excited for NCAA. And I like a year ago I bought like a brand new Xbox 360, not a brand new, but I bought an Xbox 360 off eBay, and then I found like an $80 copy of
Oh, that's
NCAA
ridiculous.
14 because NCAA 14 is insanely hard to find, and I played NCAA 14 for like a week on my Xbox 360 just like straight. I got so many hours playing as UCF in the bounce house, and in that game they're I believe. No, are they in the American in that? I'm pretty sure they were still in Conference USA in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm
I don't
wrong, but
know. I can tell you this: I was probably like I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. I wasn't playing as UCF when I was playing as Baylor. I think I used to play as Baylor a crap
I
ton.
I used to play as Florida State, so we're kind of the same. All right, so I think
Yeah,
that's
I look
next
forward
week.
to
We're
that. I
good.
look forward to that a lot. Next week's man. So let's see what we got.
So then I had to be the primary logo.
You take lead on this one.
Ooh.
This is your topic right here, baby.
Here's my opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying this is the right way. But I am not a fan of letter logos. I'm not. I think letter logos. I don't think they're bad. I just think they're kind of boring. I feel like they're easy, and I respect logos that take a chance and are the actual mascot of the team. Here are some great logos in my opinion. I think Texas has a good logo. I think the Michigan State Trojan head is a really good logo. I think the Seminole or Cheek Fasciola Florida State's really good. I think the Florida Gator is really good. I just have a thing for these. I think Wyoming's logo is really good. I just don't. I'm not a fan of stack logo or letter logos or stack logos. In general, and I think the Knighthead, which shown right here, is superior. It's just it strikes fear. It's nice. It's clean. It's sleek. It's not a letter logo, and I hope if we ever make the college football playoff, like they did with TCU, they did TCU's their little logo that's next to their name on the scoreboard. They did the Horn Frog, and I hope that when we make the college football playoff, they do the Knighthead similarly to that. And yeah, that's my take on it. What do you think?
I think we need to stop adding topics that we completely agree about, so we can have some kind of the disagreement and dialogue. Because I completely agree. I think it is a better logo, and like I agree what you said. I think to have a more iconic logo, you need to just have more than the school's letters. It's just when you think of, for example, Florida State, you think of the Seminole. When you think of Gators, you think of the Gator. You don't think of UF. You don't think of FSU. When you think of UCF, and many fans do around the country, they think of the letters UCF. And I don't like that being our image as much. I think it'll be way cooler to have the Nighthead. I saw it on the Orlando jerseys where they had Orlando with the Nighthead in the baseball tournament, in the
Yeah, those are
NCAA
hard.
tournament. And those were sick, man. I was watching the game with my dad. He's like, "Where can I buy one of those?" Because I really like the Nighthead right there in the middle. I think it'll be a lot more attractive to a lot of newer fans and fans who like logos. There's logos enthusiasts out there. So I think that would be the right move if they can make that change. I'm not sure what the logistics are going into doing that, but it would be a fun change, and I would be on board with it. And
And it
anybody watching at home, let us know your opinion in the comment section below.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can argue with you until you're wrong. But yeah, let me just preface or finish with saying that our logo's not bad. The UCF stack logo's not bad, not bad at all. There are plenty of worse logos to have. It's Christian Simmons said on the Pegasus podcast. I know that it's sleek and it's timeless. And I think he's right. I think it is timeless. I think it's even if we kept it for the next 100 years, it'd be fine. It's a serviceable logo. Is what I'll say. It's serviceable for sure.
Let me know if you want it to be added to my day one list where I'll be taking everybody out and let everybody know I'm asserting my dominance. But was this our final spin?
Yeah, I believe it's our final.
All right, UCF's 61st birthday. So as everybody's seen, the social media scene has been crazy about UCF having its 61st birthday. And UCF is younger than my dad, which is surprising. I did not even realize that. My dad was born in 69. No, I'm sorry. I lied. That's not right. 61. So UCF is older than my dad. Sorry for age dropping, Dad. Love you, but it's crazy because when you look at all these other schools and these programs that have been around for such a long time and what they've accomplished, what would have UCF accomplished by now? if they've been around for as long as the time as they have. How unprecedented is this UCF rise to Division One, to the Big 12? This is insanity that a program has been able to do this in 61 years. A program that main sport to begin with wasn't even football; it was basketball. Torchy Clark was leading the basketball reigns. Division Two, one of the best Division Two basketball teams of all time, leading scorers on that team in NCAA history. And now we're a Big 12 dominant football team. We're quote unquote dominant, but you know what I mean.
No, I agree. It's crazy too because, when I visit other universities in Florida, and you visit the campus and it's so kind of old and there's so much history on the campus. I go to UCF and I don't really feel like these buildings weren't built 150 years ago. They were built recently. When I go in the engineering building, the engineering building was built like I don't even think 20 years ago. It's like a brand new building, and I'm
so cool.
And just like UCF's so young, and I like that because I feel like I am a part of UCF's history. Being able to witness these things. A lot of people our age didn't get to see these other colleges that they attend within the state. Reach the Power Five. They didn't get to see their schools sports programs reach crazy heights. Because what I'm trying to say is that they're kind of has-beens a little bit. Like, okay, yeah, this school was really good. The school, other people got to witness their rise of their schools, and I feel like we as students are going to witness the rise of UCF, and we're not done.
Not at all, not at all, and we keep on rising. It's insane. This program has so much more potential to get even better. That national championship. Not to offend anybody, but what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm getting attacked. Okay, I'm sorry. Playing in a national championship game and winning is on the horizon. It is. It really is.
And two, what's cool is when I'm doing Clay's Corner on Twitter, reviewing old games, I'm just like, these were like, these were what these games that I'm reviewing are what got us to where we are now. And I'm just thinking right now is just the beginning. Like I'm getting to witness UCF as a student in the Power Four, in the Big 12, contending for a possible Big 12 championship, possibly contending for the college football playoff. Imagine telling someone 15 years ago that UCF was finally going to be a national contender in football. I mean, I just, I don't think they would believe it.
Nope. And there's still people who don't. And the fact that they're going to prove them wrong this year is even better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right.
Well, that concludes our Hot Wheel for this week. Hope you enjoyed the third rendition of the Hot Wheel. I thought we had some really good topics there. But we have a very special guest joining the show. Excuse me. We have a very special guest joining. And I don't know why there's tongue twisting me. Clay, introduce him.
Oh, yeah. We had Dali Drama, and he was awesome. And, here's that.
Ken.
What's a hoe?
No.
So now we have for our third guest trivia night, Dali Drama. How's it going, Dali? How are you feeling?
Andrew Cherico, how's it going, my brother? Clay Pasco, the sons, the primos, the cousins of UCF. I'm glad I can be here on the third episode.
Oh man, it's been a great time filming. Like you said, like I said before, JP Gilbert calls us the cousins of UCF. It's a title that I'm getting used to, but you know what? As long as we're somewhere under UCF, I'll be happy with it. So how confident are you feeling for trivia?
I'm feeling good. I saw the unks of UCF, Brian Peterson, before this episode. He did pretty solid. And that was some pretty in-depth questions about our former presidents. So I'm excited to see what you guys ask me here. It's kind of funny, though, that we're ranking me, him, and Adam when they're all different questions. But
yeah. No, it's kind of unfair, but
I like it.
I mean it's awesome. But Andrew, you can go and start for us.
All right. So going to start with the first question. In 2005, your freshman year at UCF, the Knights played and beat Marshall to end their losing streak from November 2003 to September 2005. How many consecutive games did UCF lose?
I think it was 17, right?
Bing, bing, bing. That is correct. 1-for-1. That was fast.
Wow,
that was
off the
all
bat.
about-
Okay.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
that was big. I actually regret not going. They brought back the field goal back to campus, and people were just like, "Dude, it was epic." And back then, it wasn't like you'd see it on social media or anything that fast. It was people showing on digital cameras and all that. But yeah, I think it was a 17-game win streak snapped. They had it in the Central Florida Future. It was a big deal.
Yeah, that was
Marshall of all
automatic.
games.
All right. That's good. Clay, you got question 2.
Oh, yeah, I got number 2. In the 2008 NFL Draft, UCF had 3 players selected. Name the players and the teams they were drafted to.
Oh man! All right, 2008. Kevin Smith went to the Lions.
Correct.
We got 2 more. I want to say, did Bruce Miller go to the 49ers? That was a little bit too soon, right? Not the McRae twins. I'm kind of blanking right now. I know it was. I don't know. I want to say Terrell Troop for some reason.
All right. I'll give a little help. If you've seen episode, what was it, 2 or 1? I forget which one. If you've been watching Up All Night, this guy made my list for top 5 UCF players of all time. That's just a bonus point if you've been watching Up All Night.
I have, but I just cannot. I'm blanking right now. We're recording this late in the day after a very long Tuesday. I'm blanking right now. And that was a pretty big special year because Kevin Smith was going to come back, didn't come back, and then went in the 3rd round. Give me an extra point if I can see the number. It was a 3rd round. Did he go 62?
Kevin Smith went in the first pick of the 3rd round.
Okay.
This other guy went in the 4th round. And then the final was selected in the last round.
Okay, hold on. Now I'm going to pull this one from Ja Reed. Ja Reed was the year after. Oh, man. I'm blanking. I don't know the rest of these. Hit me.
All right. Well,
I was looking.
since it was your question, you have the answers.
Oh, okay. All right, so Josh Sitton, Packers.
Yeah, that's right
and
there. That was a beast.
Michael Merritt, Chiefs.
Yeah, Michael Merritt was going to get. Josh Sitton, I should have got.
Yeah, Josh Sutton ranked him number 1 all time in UCF players drafted to the NFL because of his tremendous career. Had like 7 Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, and stuff like that. I feel like O-linemen are underrated, so for sure. That was a very big hot take, as the community said. I ride with my pick. I ride with it.
Hey, it all starts in the trenches. All right.
It does. All right. Moving on to number 3. In 2006 UCF football season, it began pretty rough. However, the Knights did rally for a win at Marshall. The win was especially cool because this celebrity was in attendance at the game. Who was in attendance at the Marshall game?
All right. Matthew McConaughey. That was
It's automatic for my questions.
Yeah, because it was the We Are Marshall movie.
Yeah, he was filming it. I remember that game. I think it was a Tuesday night. I think we were jacked because it was like ESPN2, and it was like a national game that we could actually go out and watch at a bar, or they didn't have to get like a pay-per-view or something to watch. Or CSTV, they used to have it like this old ale house or Crazy Wings. You'd have to watch it in the back while like the Gator games and Knoll games were all going on. But I remember I think it was like a Tuesday night for CUSA. And we're watching it, and he's on the sideline doing his antics that you see him do in Austin all the time for the Longhorn game. And when we won that game, that was pretty sweet. But yeah, I remember that. And I think we're drinking Ice House. Definitely was not 21 at the Ale House, and yeah, that was a pretty big win.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I always see him, doing shenanigans on the sideline of the Texas games. So I wanted to throw that one at you.
That's good.
All right, so you're eligible for the bonus. You got 2 out of 3. That means you get a 4th. All right, and this isn't so much your time at UCF as it is just UCF in general. You seem like a pretty knowledgeable guy about UCF, and so I thought I'd throw this one out. You kind of out of left field, but we all know Dante Culpepper is first in touchdowns scored or responsible for, as ESPN says, all time at 108. Who is second in all time touchdowns?
Is it Hinshaw?
It is Darren Hinshaw. Oh,
There
wow.
we go.
Okay.
baby.
Oh my God, automatic.
3 for 4.
Automatic.
All right.
That's a solid 3 for 4. Like, no offense to our president, Brian W., but we give him a couple here and there. So
There are-
this was
I
this
think-
this I think
That should be
this
number
was
one,
number
right?
one.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
will go
I
to
think
number
that's
one in the
eligible.
rankings.
You got it. I'll
Because
give it to you.
yeah, on the leaderboard, I don't know if you saw the little star that we put on Brian's, but the star means help because we felt bad, and we gave that to him. Fortunately, you didn't get that, so you would go above Brian in the rankings.
I love it, man. It's a little shake and bake action. 1A, 1B. I mean, we're in the top 3 though. Me, Adam, and him. So it's a good thing going on right now.
Yeah. Well, there's only
Yeah.
3 so far, but yeah, you should probably stay up there.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we got for you today. This one was pretty quick. You seem to know your
Enjoyed
knowledge.
that.
I mean, you seem to know UCF history, UCF football. Hopefully, we can have you back sometime and ask you even tougher questions. Actually challenge you this time. But we really appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate it,
sir.
boys.
Thank you
Like
for
what you guys
coming
got
on.
going on. Yeah, man. You guys
Did it.
keep killing
Did
it. And we'll start growing. Football season should be fun.
Oh, that's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
a great time. Great time. All
All
right,
right.
Dali, have a good one. Thank
Love
you.
you, boys.
All right. That trivia night, 3 for 4. Not bad. He was very automatic with his answers too.
Yeah, dude, he was
Once
crazy
he got
fast.
correct, like that.
Off the
It's a
noggin,
robot inside
dude.
of there. Robot inside of there. That was fun. Oh, okay. As you saw the bottom ticker change, my heart has just dropped to my stomach. The weekly nightmare. Clay, what's the weekly nightmare?
The weekend numbers right here, man. Joey Chestnut.
What was it? He's been banned from participating in the Nathan's hot dog competition, the annual competition.
It's a travesty. People want to talk about the Florida State snub. I think this is worse. I think
The-
this is far worse.
The Glizzy Gladiator, the Glizzy
Imagine-
God.
Imagine if someone told Tom Brady, "You're too good at the sport, man. We just can't let you play. Like you win too much."
Oh, you're
Dude, that's a
sponsoring.
travesty.
You had a commercial for the NBA. That means you can't play in the NFL now.
Yeah.
The hot dog destroyer. There's so many names. I think personally, one
Glizzy
of the
Gobbler.
greatest athletes of all time. What is it? 16-time hot dog eating competition champion. That is better than Bill Russell's numbers. Better than Tom Brady's numbers. Better than Michael Jordan. He could be the GOAT athlete. This could be my GOAT.
I mean, he's better than LeBron. He's better than LeBron for sure.
Bro, there's just the absolute spectacle of watching a man dip a hot dog in some water and shove it down his throat. What's better than that, man? That is
No,
insane.
dude.
Bro,
That man can take some serious wieners, dude.
Have you ever saw like his preparation and like how his stomach expands, bro? Like I think I would just genuinely die if I try to do that. Like no joke, if I try to shove 65 hot dogs down my throat, crazy statement. If I try to do that,
Pause.
I would genuinely die, bro. I kid you not.
I think I'll be fine. All right. So that brings us right into our over-unders.
All right, this
For
is
this
our
week.
prop bet for the week. All right. I guess I'll take lead for this one. I'm gonna go with the over. I see UCF actually winning just over at 9 wins. I think this team could really do it. I think this team is expected to be a Big 12 championship contender, and I think if they're going to do that, they need to be in the top 2. And to be in the top 2, you need at least more than 8.5 wins, which leads me to the over. I feel like what has been done with this roster has put them in a position to win. Some of them better commits we've had and better transfers we had in prior history. I spoke with Gus before. He wanted guys who are ready to win now, guys who are leaders in their locker room now, and he expects that production now. So I'm expecting the over 8.5 wins now.
I don't know. I'm unsure.
That's boring.
I might, as much as I'd hate it, as much as I don't want, as much as I want to see this team go 12-0, go 11-1, go 9-3. I might take the under on this one. I might say 8-4 is what Gus has in store. Listen, look at what Gus did at Auburn. All right, Gus. Other than that 2013 season where he went to the national championship and lost to Florida State, he's an 8-4 merchant. You can go ahead and pencil in at least 3 losses every single year. You know,
There's
you
gonna be
have
one
the
like comeback loss, terrible comeback loss.
yeah, you have a terrible comeback loss. You have a game you should have never lost, never given up. You have, or like a tough road loss somewhere, and then a tough home loss. You know, it's just I don't know. I hope he changes my mind. I hope he doesn't loses his 8-4 emergent ways. But half of me like I wouldn't even bet on this at all because I'd be so unsure. Like half of me thinks 8-4. The other half, maybe 9-3, maybe 10-2. Hell, maybe even 11-1. Maybe, Problem is, it doesn't help too that Gus Malzahn chose a very top to bottom conference to coach in, where any single game is a coin flip. Essentially,
Yeah, it is. That's
one or two plays can just not go your way, and you lose the game. Same thing with one or two plays can go your way, and you win the game just barely. This is a hard conference with a hard coach to predict. Both.
But when will the cycle be broken? When will the Gus cycle
I hope
be
it's
broken?
broken. I hope it's broken this year.
Will it
Genuinely,
ever
I
be
hope it is.
broken? Oh, all right. I'll respect it. The under, I'll take it.
I'll take the
8-4, that's a solid prediction.
Yeah.
I can see the 9-3 though. I like my 9-3. I feel like this could finally be the year.
I hope we go 9. I hope we go 10-2. Like I just said, I hope we do. But I don't know. I just the optimist in me and the predictor in me are two different people. Unfortunately.
Fair point. Well, all right. I guess that moves us into our top 5 of the week. All right, this is a fun one. This is one that made me look at the schedule look a little bit. And when we mean the top 5 games, we mean top 5 games that could be most important on the schedule, or the top 5 games that we're most excited for. It's a combination of both of those.
Correct.
And then we'll be both starting from 5 and working our way up. I guess I've had some controversial top 5s in the past 2 weeks, so maybe this isn't as controversial, but I'll start off. Number 5, I have West Virginia University. You may be wondering, Andrew, why West Virginia? That's a random game. They beat us last year. You want revenge. All right?
This is revenge.
I want revenge. It's petty. I know. You don't want to lose to a team that we were supposed to beat. Like we were saying, equal matchup, 50-50. No, they should have beat West Virginia. We lost. What was it, like 38-24 or something like that?
It was like 45-24.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, they got really ahead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. No, this should have never happened. They started chanting at our stadium, our bounce house. Absolutely not a fan of it. Give me West Virginia. I can't wait to see the beatdown.
Hey, Morgantown's a hard place to play, man.
I know. Give me. Clip me if they win. Clip me if West Virginia wins. But give me West Virginia.
They'll clip you, man. I'm not clipping you. They'll do it. All right. So number 5, I have Arizona, the space game at number 5. This is that. It's mainly excitement. I think Arizona's gonna be a good team. You have Noah Fafita at quarterback. You have McMillan brother. I don't know how to say his first name, but very good wide receiver at Arizona. They're going to be a solid team. They were a solid team last year. They beat Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl. And space game magic. Hopefully we can pull that one off. But yeah, space game Arizona. Number 5.
I didn't include the space game on this list because it's basically a guaranteed win. When you think space game, you think automatic dub. What else you see?
I'm clipping that. I'm going to clip that.
Yeah, I might have jinxed those guys. I'm sorry. Oh, I messed up. Did I mess up? I think I messed up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
Go to 4.
I'm sad now. All right. We're to Cincinnati. I enjoyed the rivalry we've built with Cincinnati. I have. It was the AAC rivalry transferring over. You're wondering these picks. These are personal picks, all right, Clay? Stop looking
Yeah, I
at me
can
like
tell.
that.
You're getting very personal with these picks.
All right. These are matchups that people want to see. Bearcat Matt, he's going to be chirping. Oh, didn't he get deactivated recently?
I think he did. Yeah, he got banned.
Yeah, so maybe we won't have him chirping for the Cincinnati game, but I'll enjoy that. It's a rivalry game that has transferred over from the AAC, and I think it's a good yearly matchup. They kind of not turning into a new USF, but it's one of those like, let's see who can get the upper hand on each other for the next couple of years throughout every sport, basketball, baseball. It seems to be something that's brewing between us.
Okay. Number 4, I have Colorado.
That's low.
I know it's a bit low. I don't think as you'll see in my scouting report, I think Colorado is. I think they'll be underwhelming again. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes in that game. I truly believe that there's a chance of big noon kickoff coming to Orlando, and I think would probably crack over 1 million viewers easily on that game, TV wise. I think it'll be a fun game, a lot of chirping. Maybe I can get to Dion somehow and talk him trash. And get clipped and put on TikTok and Instagram reels and whatnot. But Colorado, I think it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be our Big 12 season home opener. That's gonna be a great time. Probably gonna be a very hot day. Hopefully we don't blow that lead and make me feel awful for the entire week after, like Baylor did. But yeah, number 4, Colorado.
Now, when you say underwhelming, I'm not sure what your definition of underwhelming is, but I think the team will be better next year.
I think it'll be better. I think they'll be 6-6 probably, but that's better. But that's not amazing.
It technically is better, but no, I don't think it's gonna be underwhelming matchup, and you'll see that later on my list. Number 3, I have Utah. Number one reason why I have Utah number 3 is because that game could have serious Big 12 or NCAA championship complications, if you want to put it in that butterfly effect order. Last game of the season, Big 12 matchup, it can decide who gets into that top 2. This, like I said before, this UCF team, I truly think this is one of the more talented rosters they've had in a very long time. People said that last year, but I feel stronger about that than last year. I think we see more predictions going. We had a lot of 6-6 predictions last year. I feel like we raised that average up a little bit. I think that this Utah game is going to be one where people are like praying that we get the win to advance to the next round. I think it's going to have that much implications in it. So I think that's a super important game. That's my number 3.
My number 3 is TCU.
Okay.
You're probably wondering, Andrew, why or Clay, why are you putting TCU so high at number 3? Because I think it's what I call the indicator game. All right. So we go into Fort Worth and we win. That's an indication to me that this team is legit and that we can compete, and this will be a good team. We go to TCU and lose, start ringing the alarms. Alarm starts going off, and it too is our first Big 12 conference game of the season. And yeah, I put it at 3 because it's gonna be an indicator game. It's gonna measure whether Gus Malzahn has put together a roster or not, a worthy roster of the Big 12.
Valid, almost like a tone setter game.
Yeah, exactly. It'll set the tone of the season. That game.
It's a very solid pick. And at number 2, I have Colorado. I think it's going to be one of the most watched matchups of the year, including UCF probably being the first or second most watched matchup of the year. The black and gold, or since they're technically the only ones that were gold out of us two. But in terms of logo-wise, we'll go for the black and gold drama matchup. I think it'll be great. I think Deion Sanders coming to town. It's going to be very exciting. It's no doubt in my mind going to be a sellout crowd. And even if one team is losing by 50 points, there's still going to be a sellout crowd. Nobody's going to be leaving either way. Media is going to be all over Deion Sanders. Media is going to be all over Shedeur Sanders. Media is going to be all over Travis Hunter. They've had a lot of question marks with the lineup, and UCF, I feel I can really give them a good upset. I think they are going to be a better team. Like I said, I think it'll be a very high-scoring matchup. I do think that UCF can pull off the victory, though. I can see both teams scoring over 35 points in that game.
The thing is, I want to bring this up. Colorado plays kind of a sneaky hard schedule, like towards the beginning of the season. They host North Dakota State, which I believe they just won the FCS last season or a few seasons ago. Then they go on the road to Nebraska, where Dylan Raiola, and there's a lot of hype around them. And then I believe they host Baylor. And I could very well see them 1-2, 0-3 going into the UCF game.
I can see them 3-1-4-0.
Really?
Yeah, I think Shedeur is going to have a really good year. I think he's going to, not saying he's going to be top prospect. I think UCF can beat them, though. I just think it'll be a very hype matchup because they will have shown promise. I think UCF will have shown promise. They'll have very similar records by the time of that matchup.
Okay, so now I know Andrew is a Colorado sympathizer. All right, at number 2, we're at number 2, right? Yeah, number 2, yeah. I have Utah, the Utah game. Now, I think Utah is by far, I think we can both agree that they're by far the best team we play this year. By far. They're already a top 10 preseason prediction, some even having them being as much as top 5 team. And just, I think it's going to be primetime matchup Friday night. A lot of eyes on that game. And that could be, our ticket to the Big 12 championship is winning that game. And yeah, I just think Cam Rising's very good. And it'd be cool to finally see him in action here in the bounce house. And yeah, I think that's just going to be kind of like how there's TCU's the mood setter. This is also what I want to say, a mood setter game, whether we win that game or not. The after chase of the season will be based off of how we compete in this game.
I just want you to understand, I'm not a Colorado sympathizer. I'm just a hype enjoyer. I'm a hype enjoyer. I've been thinking about that. It hurt my feelings. No, I'm a hype enjoyer. So
My fault. I'm a Colorado. I don't like them.
Yeah, no, I get it. And so many people don't. But I truly think the hype for that matchup, and I think them winning a lot to begin the season will even add that much more hype for the UCF matchup to make it that much more hype. Because if Colorado was 0-3 going into that game, they were 3-0. Let's end Deion Sanders' record. Let's end this win streak. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And two, it's the same thing with Florida. Like, as much as I would love to see Colorado, lose all their games before us, at the same time, if they win all their games, we're both undefeated going to that game. Big noon kickoff, bunch of eyes, attention, hype is going to be real. I agree. I wouldn't mind that if that happened.
All right, and transitioning into our number one. Who else but the Gators? Who else? This is going to be a matchup classic to remember for the ages. This is going to be, I think, one of the first times we really see that UCF is, if not the most dominant school, second top two in Florida, that they can take the number 2 spot. And I think UCF can really prove to everybody in Florida that they're right there with FSU, right there with the Gators. I think they've been past Miami. I think that's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
But so many people are like, oh, still, Big 12, still didn't play that much competition last year. You guys were mediocre, this and that. Oh, you guys had this record, but Gators have been playing competition, better competition, blah, blah, blah. I think this head-to-head matchup right here is going to prove so much, and then it'll lead to another one down the future. Am I right?
I agree. So my number one is New Hampshire. I'm just really excited for this game, for the football season to start. I just wanted to. No, I'm kidding. No, my number one's Florida too. Same thing. I think this game is huge for us, and I think it's bigger for us than a lot of what the national media is what they're thinking. I think that we win this game, we're finally seen. There's no excuses. We're finally seen as a power program within the state. We're finally seen as competitive as screw the big three. We're in the big three now, and like Kendrick Lamar said. We I think at this point, if we do that, we're kind of past Miami. Not all the time, of course. Miami has like 5 national championships all the time, but in recent memory, I think Florida State, us, Florida will be undeniably the top programs in Florida.
I think that's a fair prediction.
Yeah. And recruiting as well. I feel like, if we can get that win over Florida, it's going to be huge for recruiting. We can finally tell recruits that want to go to Florida, hey, we beat those bums, come
Why
to
go to
UCF.
Gainesville when you can come to Orlando?
Yeah, exactly.
I went to Gainesville. There was absolutely nothing to do. Sorry, anybody watching the Gainesville. It was so boring, man.
Gaines was awful.
It was so boring. I hate to say it. I like Florida before I decided to go to UCF. But
so this gets us right into our scouting report for this year. We have of course Colorado, or I call it the Sanders reality show. As we all know, they had a pretty crazy season last year, August, September. I mean, they were the talk of the town. Every single sports media outlet was talking about Colorado, and Colorado's back, and Deion is here to stay. Colorado's here to stay. They're here to compete. They can win games. They started out the season beating TCU, then beating Nebraska, and then that amazing game with them in Colorado State that was back and forth into double overtime, and that didn't get out until like 3 a.m. And I watched it all the way up to that. The hype was real. I didn't buy it, but everyone else did. And then they go to Oregon and they get embarrassed. And then they play some more games, and they get embarrassed, and they blow leads, and it's just, downfall. And I loved it. I love seeing it. I loved seeing this stupid media hype finally die down. People, starting to not buy into Colorado stock, and it's starting to rise again. I don't think it was as big as last year, but it's starting to come back again. Yeah. But Colorado in the offseason, they've lost Dylan Edwards to Kansas State. They lost a lot in the portal, but they also gained a lot in the portal. They've had the 8th best portal class in the country this year in 2024, both spring and winter portal. They play I'd probably say an easier schedule than they did last year, so I think it's a much more favorable schedule. I have them going 6-6, maybe 7-5 if some things go their way. I think Shador is going to be good, probably. Travis Hunter, same thing. 2 great players. I think most FPI, ESPN FPI have them at 7-5. I think their over/under is 6.5. I'd probably take the under. I think they probably stay at 6. Colorado, they're a team for sure, and that I can't wait to see. My thing with Colorado, it's one thing to talk trash and be good. If you're talking trash and you're Ohio State, I'm fine with that. You're good. You're really good at the game. But at some point, you can't talk trash and then go and only win 4 games. That's not how that works, man. That's not how this works at all, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I just, he's a good. I think he can be a good coach. Dion, there's no hate to him. I mean, he was an amazing player, probably arguably the best DB of all time. And yeah, it's gonna be fun watching him come to the bounce house. Hopefully, Big Noon Kickoff. I would love Big Noon Kickoff to finally come to UCF for that day. I think they would too, because game day is probably Alabama Georgia is that day, September 28th, and the only big Fox matchup is I think Penn State plays like USC or something, and then we play Colorado. So I think there's a chance that we host Big Noon Kickoff that day. When I would be, I would wait in line for that.
So what's your grade for Colorado?
Oh, I give them a C.
All right. Well, I think last season, they demonstrated talent and hype early on. As Clay said before, they started talking about smack, started losing a lot more. Obviously, the O-line was a big issue last year. Defense was a big issue last year. But I think they've shored that up a little bit. But the one flaw this team still has is the attitude. They think they're better than everybody still. They think they're still the top dog, which they've never been. Main reason why I'm not a Colorado sympathizer, it's more just I like the hype so that we can beat them even better. I think it'll be that much more fun. I see them winning 7 games. I almost said 5. I see them going 7-5, but that's accurate. You'll see an improvement, 3-game improvement this year, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
it
could be another.
You'll see an improvement.
It could be another S show from Dion and his son and Travis on the field. And they lost a lot of people this transfer portal. And they were talking about how bad the locker room environment was, how bad the team chemistry was, even throughout the offseason and this season. So I think that's going to be their number one downfall. And let's see if Dion can lead the team. But I would give him my grade. I'll give Colorado, want to be fair here, I'll give him a B. I think a B is fair. I think for 7 wins, a B is a fair.
Yeah. What really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm a hater too, don't get me wrong, but when Shador was calling that running back mid because he didn't know who he was, like when a player came out in the program and said like, hey, like I felt like this was the Sanders reality show. I didn't really feel like an individual. I just felt like I was just in the background sometimes. And Shador responded to that player who transferred out and said, I don't remember him. He was probably mid, is what he said, verbatim. And I was like, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say, man. But, that's... I mean,
people actually enjoy that stuff, but you're just diminishing a whole man's career by saying that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, say Antonio Brown said something like that. He's the most villainized guy in the industry. Shador says something like that. He's so cool. Look at his watch.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean,
so I don't like that stuff. That stuff is not cool in my opinion. That man, he plays football just as long as him, probably put in just as much as the work. No need to diminish somebody else's career.
Absolutely, I agree. But
all right.
Yeah, I think that's all. Our coffees are empty. Our minds are fine, also empty. And Andrew, are you feeling tired?
I think you saw my light shut off like a couple minutes ago, so I think my light got tired, and I'm feeling tired too.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope to have you again next week. But as of right now, we have officially been up all night.
See you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.